So strip grazing this flock of sheep here. It's only just over 20 here. We got the ewe lambs that were born in April, so 20th of December today, and they're going with the ram. Now the rams will be coming out today. They've been in with these for 3 weeks, and 3 weeks before that with all the ewes. So this is Duke's mob. There's Duke, and I'm just strip grazing these, and I'm going to put a back fence up behind there in a minute. It's a few days they've been here. We've got quite a lot of grass in this field, and that's why I'm strip grazing. And also it's been really dry for December. We haven't had any rain for over a week, and they're doing a pretty good job of finishing this off without making a mess. Whereas if it's wet, they would be poaching it a little bit if I was grazing them this tight. So I managed to make the grass last a bit longer, and they're making better use of it. This is where they've been, so you can see, even though it's been dry, it hasn't really been cold. We've got some pretty good regrowth. And we've got a fair bit of grass left in this field, so I'll be strip grazing them across there. And that's where they've been. See, the grass is really recovering quite well. So this is Clarkie's mob. He's only with 13 ewes. They've been in this 5-acre field for 6 weeks. So strip grazing the ewe lambs because they need a bit better grass. They're still growing, but the ewes mostly don't. They've still got plenty of grass in this field, and they are eating it up, and it is regrowing. But obviously it gets hammered a bit more. They've been in the same field for quite a while now, and rams will be coming out later today or tomorrow. But I'll then combine the ewes together a bit more, and they'll go on to their winter rations eventually, which will be hay and silage once the grass gets a bit lower. But the grass is still growing. Just behind, you can't really see, but the field through the hedge there, there's Barney's group, and they've got there's 20 ewes with Barney, and he's been in that 8 acres for the 6 weeks as well. And then there's the other flock, which is Rocky's group, and I'll go and have a look at those now because we're doing something a bit different with them. Right, so this is Rocky's mob, and they're in the lambing field and doing something a bit different with them. Well, they've been here 6 weeks in this field, but I've rotated them around, so I've given them sort of 10 days on each little patch, and this is where they were 6 weeks ago, and the grass is recovering. And then they were there, and then they were up the top, and they're coming around sort of clockwise, and they're probably in a pretty big bit now. They've been here for a bit over a week, and I probably could have split that in half really, but I was running a bit low on fencing posts, and I wanted to strip graze the ewe lambs 3 weeks ago, so I didn't have quite enough posts to split this piece in half. So they're fine. There's still loads of grass in there. There was more grass in this field. So we lamb in April from about the 3rd or 4th, and there won't be any sheep in here from probably the first week of January until we lamb. So you can see this is where they were just over a week ago, and they ate that down fairly well. And then behind it's a bit greener, and then they were there 10 days before that, and there 10 days before that. And I run 2 strands of wire to keep the ewes in, but on the back fence I find you only need 1, and I could probably get away with 1 all the way around really, but I'd feel a bit happier with 2. But 1 on the back fence seems to be fine. They're not too bothered about going back to it, and I do run that pretty high because I don't find I have problems with these going under the fence. I find that I have a couple that might jump it, so if I do get any that do jump at any time, then they'll be singled out and got rid of. But occasionally it does happen, so that's why I run 2 strands usually. Right, there we go, they're pretty happy. And the buckets, that's the only supplementary feed we give these. It's just minerals in a sort of molasses form, but that bucket's they've had it for 6 weeks, these 20, and they've pretty much cleared it, but not quite. And there's Rocky over there. He should have done the job really. He's been here 6 weeks, but it looks like he's showing a bit of interest in that, eh? Well, they'll be coming out today or tomorrow, and any that aren't in lamb, that will be their only chance. And they won't be hanging around for another year if they aren't in lamb now. Yeah, so the boys' chickens are all in the polytunnel now. We've just put the cluck wagon, just pushed it in here, and they've got to be in here because of bird flu anyway, but I think in the winter it probably works out a bit better. And you can see they're digging and scratching around in here. Not a lot left alive. That's the remainder of the runner beans. So we made up these feeders for them. It seems to be working quite well. Tomatoes, so I've got to get in here and knock these down, but I have still got a few tomatoes growing. 20th of December, and I've still got a few tomatoes here. They've got fairly tough skins on them, but they're not too bad. The chickens will eat them now anyway. I'll knock them down and they'll pick them off. So they're doing a pretty good job. And they've got some stuff to hide behind and jump over and move around. They're very, very friendly.